What's up, folks? It's your boy Bob Hollywood back with another exciting review. Today's review is going to be this Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves Holga figure. I got this at Ross during the holiday season. As you can see, I only paid $4.99 for it, and it said compare value at $13, but I believe these were retailing for at least $20 in Target, Walmart, whatnot. I don't know if I've ever seen them in Walmart. I've definitely seen these figures in Target. Have not seen the film. Heard good things about the film, but I never saw it. I don't know if I wanted to see it, but Holga is played by Michelle Rodriguez, probably most well known for her character in Fast and Furious, whatever. That series of films, which she's been involved since the first one. She's also in the first Resident Evil movie as well as the sixth one. Anyway, on the front of the box, we see a small picture of the actual figure as well as art. I guess based off of the character, not necessarily of the figure, but maybe from the movie. The movie is live action. On one side of the box, we see that same image. It's just zoomed in, so it really just shows her face and her torso. On the back, we see a larger image of the action figure as well as the accessories, and it gives you a website and a QR code. And there's a bunch of legalese at the bottom. And on this side, it gives you a bio in 5 languages. I'm going to read it in the language that I know. Holga est una. I'm messing with you. It's Holga is a fierce barbarian from the Uthgard elk tribe with a surprisingly warm heart. I don't know anything about Uthgard elk tribe. I don't know anything about Helga. I just bought this figure because it was $4.99, and not a lot can go wrong for $4.99. Excuse me, $4.99. Anyway, oh, and there's a barcode if you need it. Anyway, folks, I'm gonna take a brief intermission and bust her out of her plastic-free prison, and then I'll be right back. All right, folks, I am back, and one thing I noticed while I was liberating her is that the packings of her that she was in this bigger bag, and then her 2 accessories that can be combined into one. Where in a smaller bag, they were much more sturdier, much more firmer, secure than what I've noticed in the Marvel Legends or in the GI Joe. I don't remember if I can't remember if Dusty was in a pack, like if he was physically covered. I know he was in the box secure, but anyway, yeah, I noticed that. I don't know why Hasbro went that route. They just did. But so far, out of the 4 or 5 plastic-free boxes that I've opened, I have not been robbed of what I was supposed to get. If you remember back when I was doing the Mystique review, I said that her box had been opened in store by somebody, but they didn't manage to steal anything. So let's go over her accessories. She has this axe, and it looks really good. Like the bronze painting on there, that looks good. As you can see there, it's a little warped, but that's not a huge issue. That can be fixed. The hammer part of it looks like it's dented. Looks like it's been used before. If you notice, there's this little sliding tube on here, and I'll show you how that works. This is the other accessory. It looks more like a spear. There's a pointy in there, and at this top, at first when I was taking it out of the plastic, I thought, oh, maybe it's supposed to be like a hammer, but that doesn't really make sense. So what you do is they don't combine how you would think, but I believe on the box it looks like they would go like this, but that doesn't make sense because it's not going. And this doesn't come apart at any place. The hammer head doesn't come off. Oh, wait, does the hammer head? The hammer head might come off. And if not, I'll just be breaking this hammer, which sucks because it is yeah, the hammerhead comes off and goes onto there. And that's how you get the extended look. And this still goes on there, but that's just for her to be able to hold it. In the image, it looked like these two were combining. So, yeah, same weapon, even though they're not. But I could see where in their mind it does. So it's like it starts there, and then it comes out to make it longer. So, yeah, even though they're similar enough at the bottom. So yeah, I'm gonna see how she holds it. She only has the 2 gripping hands since I already have it on the long version of her weapon. Whoops. Since I already have it on the long version, I have butterfingers today, folks. I'm sorry. I already have it on the long version of her hands. I'm gonna just try to slide that in there. And that slid in pretty easily. So she has it in her hands. It's an axe. Again, this piece is supposed to be on there. I guess that's for her to hold it a little in a different way. Because it looks like it's still in her hand on the picture. It looks like it's like right here. Because she's basically holding this with one hand on the picture. But that's how she holds it. She didn't have any issue getting it in her hands, as you saw. It was just me with butterfingers constantly dropping it. All right, so let's... Oh, and she also has this knife. I'm sorry. She has this knife. And I guess if she's from the elk tribe, maybe it's for not only... Oh, that's nicely painted gold. They did some painting. So maybe that's for her skinning deer, Tywin Lannister style. I don't know. Or maybe they don't eat meat. I don't know. Anyway, let's look at her. She has tattoos on both of her biceps. I can't really make out what it is. It looks like I see antlers, so maybe this has something to do with an elk. And then this side, it almost looks like maybe like a lizard or reptile perching that looks like a tail. But then she has like this braille, not braille, but like a branding right next to that tattoo. So that's pretty neat. All her outfit is pretty detailed. Like there's an elk on the sigil of her chest. And this looks like it's actually, all her clothing looks like it's stitched and woven, and it looks like clothing. You know how like with Marvel Legends you'll get like a skin tight outfit and it doesn't, they're starting to get a little bit better. There might be some wrinkles in there to make it look like clothing and not just painted on. This all looks like clothing. Like it might not all be painted, but you can see like the strings of where her boots are tied, or where her you know, it's on both sides. You can see like the fur of her boots. The pants have details of wrinkle. This armor, all detailed. Not all of it's painted, but it's all really well detailed. It's sculpted. It would probably be, if you wash this, gave it a wash, it would look great. Or repainted yourself. Like, but there's details and everything. This figure looks amazing. This figure, in terms of her outfit, 10 out of 10. Worth every penny of that $4.99 plus tax. Yeah, she's wearing clothes. Her clothes are clothes, if that makes sense. And I don't know, it's probably just me of years of having played with Hasbro figures and $20 figures in general, where it's like, oh, maybe we're going to skim on it. But they put some money into this line. I think that's maybe because Hasbro owns Dungeons and Dragons. I believe they do. I could be wrong on that. So they might put more care into it the same way they do with G.I. Joe and with, do they own Transform? No, I think Transformers is technically a Japanese brand. But anyway, enough of her clothing. Let's look at her. Let's look at Michelle Rodriguez's toy face. It looks better than it does on the box, but Michelle Rodriguez, who I find attractive, has been treated better in real life. This figure looks like it wants to be Michelle Rodriguez, but it is not doing the lady much justice. It's not ugly. It just doesn't look exactly like her. And that's my opinion. I don't think there's anything else to go over in terms of her how she looks. Let's just go over her articulation. Her head, and it's going to be hindered by her hair, I can tell you that much. It's going to look down that much. It's going to look up not really much at all from the starting location. It has the ability to rotate 360, and you just saw me do it even though the hair's there. But, yeah, the hair is going to get in the way. There is a little bit of tilt, not very much. Arm is tight because of this shoulder pad. It's not going to go out much farther than that. It's not going to be able to rotate 360 because of that shoulder pad. It's very firm piece of plastic. There is single jointed elbow, but it is with a hinge, with a peg. So it does give you just about 90 degrees. Just going to rotate at that peg. Her hands are going to, let me get it realigned. Hand rotates also at the peg it has, and it has a vertical hinge on this left hand, and also a vertical hinge on the right hand, which is cool. Her waist, she has rocker in there, both under her breast and right above her hips. So she's going to get a little bit of motion. Like she can twist. I'm not going to do it here, but it looks like she can rotate 360 in both of those spots, but she's not going to get much forward and back motion, like in terms of posing. Clearly she's moving, but she's not going to stick that way. Let's see what her leg articulation is. I know she has on this armor on her sides. So that might hinder it. That's as far out as I'm getting. And she's actually being supported right there by her braids that are keeping her armor attached. Let's see how far out it'll go. I'm going to try it with this one because there's also the hindrance of the knife on her left hip. That's how far out it goes. And it doesn't go back much at all. She has double jointed knees. Oh wait, and there is a thigh swivel. She has double jointed knees, and she's pretty tight. I don't want to say stiff. I want to say that's pretty tight. But that's as far back as it goes, so not very much. But again, she's not Spider-Man, so maybe she doesn't need it. And there's a forward-facing rocker in there. Not very much articulation because of the way the pants are. And I'm assuming it will be able to rotate 360, but the pants, again, hinder the articulation. So, I'm going to put her down. And again, I'm going to pause the video for me, not for you. And I'm going to get the review crew. I should have had them primed and ready, but I did not. So I'll be right back. All right, first up are the lovely ladies of the review crew, Andra and Vixen. And this might not be the fairest representation of Holga's height, just because Vixen is a tall 6-inch figure, and Andra is technically a 7-inch figure. She's smaller in that scale, in that line in particular, but that's a 7-inch character line. As we can see, Holga is shorter than both of them. And I never gave you Holga's individual height. I think she's just at 6 inches, but I'll confirm that in the video with the ruler. All right, be right back. More Hasbro comparative goodness, this time with Eric Killmonger and Roadblock. They are both taller than her. I think she scales well with at least this Eric Killmonger. I believe most Marvel Legends are going to be slightly larger. But that's a Marvel Legend based off the MCU, which is real people, so that might factor into it. But I think she looks good with both of them. So far, she fits in really well. She's not super short. She's not super tall. And here's Holga next to some of her Hasbro brethren. We got her next to a Landau Calrissian, played by the awesome Donald Glover. I've been watching Atlanta, so he be doing the acting. And then Winston Zedmore from Ghostbusters line. She's taller than both of them. Both at the shoulder, her head, eye level, all of that. Here she is with John Bone Jones and the Red Ranger from Power Rangers Beast Morphers. She is, again, shorter than both of them, but she scales in well with them. She's an average height. Her eye level might be on the same as the Red Ranger, or maybe slightly lower, but very close. She's a real size person. I gotta look up Michelle Rodriguez's height while I'm at it so I can see how this fares. And for the final figure comparisons from the review crew, we have the Gator Titus O'Neil, who is the tallest figure in the review crew. Words, they get harder to say as you get older. And Overwatch skating dude. I could look his name up. I could put some respect on it, but I think it's a great honor that he's in the review crew. He gets to be in every single video, so I think he can take it. I think he can. That's wrong. Just because someone uses you doesn't mean it's good. I'm gonna figure his name out. The next video, I'm gonna know his name. But she is taller than him, shorter than Titus. I don't know if I've done a review yet where anyone's taller than Titus. Maybe Clownface was taller, but they probably were on the same level. Anyway, that's the end of the review crew. Let me get these two out of here. Why did I say crew and two like that? That was very Baltimore of me. I do not typically overpronounce those two letters or two words. But as you can see, she's just under 6 inches. Almost at it, but just under. And I should have looked up Michelle Rodriguez's height. I'm going to do that right now without pausing the video if I can get it quickly. And if not, then what's us spending a little bit more time together? You guys love me, right? I love you guys, so I hope you guys love me. She's 5'5", so is that average height for a woman? Or is that slightly short? I'm not sure. Anyway, folks, that is the end of this review. I appreciate you sticking here with me and hearing me chat. See, she's a pretty gorgeous woman, if you ask me. But that's the end of this review. I appreciate you stopping by, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Tell me which your favorite Michelle Rodriguez role is. Unfortunately, I haven't seen her in a ton of stuff other than the Fast movies, but I know she acts. She does a lot of work, and yeah. And once you're done doing that, or before you even type that comment of what your favorite Michelle Rodriguez film is, I want you to remember that you are doing a great job. You're not perfect by any means, but if you were, you'd be bored. So keep on striving for the best version of you, even with those flaws that you're going to have. And always remember, action figures speak louder than words.